mention the currency, possibility of a currency war in one of your measures of volatility. I wonder what you think of what you're predicting for that. And a follow-up question would be, can the US lower its debt with a strong dollar?
So, I mean, great question on the currency war, because when we talk about Japan, one of the things they're trying to do with the monetary policy is they want to depreciate the yen, because that helps them with export and it helps them grow their economy. That has not gone unnoticed around the world. So I do think there is a risk of that. I think, if you look at what's happening in Europe right now, in the Eurozone, it's one of the few central banks that has not had an aggressive monetary policy, and the euro has been going up, and there's a lot of pressure on them right now. And at a time when really they should not have a euro at 140 or 138 or whatever it is. So I absolutely think it's an issue. I think if you look at what's happened to the Canadian dollar, one of the biggest reasons the Canadian dollar went down is because our finance minister, or the governor of the Bank of Canada, came out and talked it down. So that's definitely going on, and I definitely think it's a risk. For the debt, I don't think it's so much of a currency issue. I think, and I didn't talk about U.S. debt this year. There's two things I didn't talk about this year that I did last year. One is the U.S. fiscal position, and the other is the euro. And because I think in the near term, both are not as much of an issue. I think that with the U.S. economy recovering, the budget deficit has been declining, and actually declining faster than a lot of people had predicted. The problems in the U.S. is still further out with the entitlement spending, and there is no political will in Washington right now to address that. So I think that is definitely a longer-term threat that is still up in the air, and I think it's going to be something that you might need some kind of crisis to force them into making a bipartisan decision on reducing entitlement spending, because neither the Republicans or the Democrats want it. In fact, and John's right, the Republicans say that they want it, but they don't really. Their worst nightmare right now would be to control Congress and the presidency, and then they would have to be the ones to enact that, and they don't want it. It's a vote loser.